Darlings, it's Mummy, Sybil Bruncheon, and I'm coming to you from the front of my house just outside of Philadelphia. And this is one of my little driveway gardens. I have two little driveway gardens, as you know, and they're tiny. I mean, there's the next door neighbor's driveway, and there's the next door neighbor's driveway. So I have two little driveway gardens, which are strips, which are lovely. And every year I post my little Tour-ettes here about what's going on with them. For those of you that have been following them, you know how Mummy struggles against the invasiveness of lily of the valley, Siberian irises, peonies. I've got a whole diatribe about peonies. Then invasive species that come, like black-eyed Susans, which I happen to love, but boy, are they ruthless. Then, of course, Pachysandra. Oh, my God. This was planted before I got here, too. And then there's daisies, which are there, which are struggling, and which actually sort of an even match for the Pachysandra. The daisies seem to come back a little bit stronger every year. And then somebody planted what looks like flowering quince or something, etc. Anyway, in the Northeast here, we've had the most reluctant spring. It's been cold and rainy for weeks and weeks and weeks. Here we are in the second half of May, and although everything is green, it's definitely behind in its blooming schedule. Last year, things were already up and blooming, and I think that what happened this year was the irises decided, fuck this whole thing. We're going to come up rain or shine, which is what they've done. And these were all planted before I got here. These bicolors. There's a pair of chrome yellow ones tucked in there, not these pale yellow, those chrome yellow. These pale yellow were not here when I came here. They were given to me by a neighbor named Mira, and Mira saw that I was gardening, and she came over with a pot of these that she was getting rid of, and she knew that I would love them. And sure enough, I planted them, and they are going gangbusters. I haven't groomed them yet today. I normally groom them and keep them fresh and lovely. So they're running by, and so are the purple ones. As you remember maybe from my videos, and you can see the videos, last year I had the most incredibly beautiful bicolor ones here. They were coppery peach, just apricot-y, and smelled wonderful. These have very, very, very faint smell and are lovely. I'm grateful for them. But there was some, out of nowhere, we got these bicolor coppery apricot ones that were just unbelievable. Maybe the most beautiful irises I've ever had in any garden, and they smelled incredible. I'm gradually bonsaiing and trimming these hedges into something interesting. Oh, I'll take you over here. I planted these, more black-eyed Susans that are invading, more black-eyed Susans. This was a hydrangea that had not grown, and you can see the trunk underneath. Look at the size of that trunk. Well, I 2 years ago, or last year really, in the spring, I trimmed back the Pachysandra and put a rubber wall right here. There's a rubber wall under there that's tucked in, and it was to form a barrier. Well, out of nowhere, this Pachysandra, which, first of all, I don't think I even remember seeing it, the trunk. But if I did, I thought, well, it's dead, but it's too much to dig up. I'll just plant around it. Well, suddenly, freed of all the Pachysandra, which had come all the way out to here, it blossomed, it leafed up and branched and grew, and then some idiot neighbor decided to chop it back down to the ground. If I find out who did that, animal abuse, plant abuse, child abuse, the solution is to burn the person's hands off in the public square. There's a circle right there we could do it in for everyone to see. If I ever find out who did that, I'm going to break their hands with a sledgehammer. They cut it down and it was gone. And only in the last part of the summer, the fall, it began to leaf out. And I thought, well, if you survive, God bless you. And I fed it and did everything. And here it is. It's come back up and it's trying its best. So there you go. I've been clearing out some of this black-eyed Susan. Yes, it's sweet that it's there, but it's swallowing everything. I planted some marigolds. Here's what's left of the grape hyacinth. Here's the columbines that I planted a few years ago, and look at them. They're just wonderful. I'm going to buy more of them. I'm going to clear out underneath here. I'm going to thin out the irises and try and get this under the hedge area, which is very shady, more varied and more just more timed out. I want to actually have things on schedules. So maybe I can get some columbine that would like to live under there, but are maybe later bloomers. The Siberian irises are just gorgeous. They're really gorgeous, and I love them, but they are literally marching over everything. So I have thinned them out and transplanted them out to the circle. Can you see them out there? Look, 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 look. And look, they're starting to bloom. I snuck them in out there. Oh God, I'll be reported by someone. Look, there they are. Do you see? They've started to bloom. I put them out there last spring, and they struggled, and now they're coming up, and I'm going to put more out there too soon. And Wanda planted her rose bushes. We planted those rose bushes, but I'm going to plant some more Siberian irises. They're so beautiful. They're so delicate, and they're hardy little plants. Boy, are they sturdy. Irises, I love them. Although, here's a secret for everybody, which I didn't know until just recently. If you have irises and you enjoy them, do yourself a favor. Cut them and take them inside and put them in a vase of water with some of that florist powder. And don't use the whole packet, just use a sprinkle. But I'll tell you, you'll have irises that'll last days and days indoors, and they don't last days and days outdoors. So there you go about durability of cut flowers. Speaking of durability of cut flowers, now I'm gonna bitch. You know the expression a Karen? Well, the Karens of the gardens are peonies. They are like hysterics. If they don't have cages around them to support them, they flop over on other plants. They become unruly. If they flop over too early, they don't even blossom. So sometimes you just have these big, big branches of peonies that are lying all over everything around them, smothering everything. And then, the blossoms open into a mush and then just turn rotten and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm getting sick of them. And they also are invasive. They spread. So this year, after they bloom, I'm thinking of going in there, cutting away stuff, maybe taking a pitchfork, loading out some Siberian irises, certainly thinning out these black-eyed Susans or getting rid of them entirely. Maybe I'll let them bloom, but then that'll be it. These irises may go, but I'm telling you right now, this peony, clunk, whatever you call it, this group is going to be either thinned, cut in half and transported elsewhere, or taken out. It is absolutely like a tyrant. It's a hysterical Karen in my garden, a weeping, crying, and they don't last. Peonies don't last long enough for all that drama. It's not like the blossoms last for days and days and days or weeks or whatever. They bloom, and it's like magnolias. They're beautiful for like 36 hours, and then it's a mess. So I am not going to put up with it any longer. Peonies need to be shorter. They need to be compact. They need to not need bridge structure around them, and they need to stay in blossom. They need to be, it just needs to be, they need to be contributors, not takers. And in my opinion, peonies are takers. So maybe they've got an appointment with the center of that circle out there. I don't know. But that's how I feel about that. Done. Heucheras. I've had two wonderful heucheras. There they are in there. There, you can see them there. There's a wonderful maroon one and this green one. They're also called coral bells. Delicate flowers, very wildflowery looking. And they've come back in their pots, as do my heucheras out on Fire Island. Lovely. And then I tuck a beautiful coleus in there too. And they love the shade of this porch. They get a little afternoon sun, but for the most part, they're no muss, no fuss, and they seem to be very happy. I trim them back. I clean them up a little bit in the fall because they're mounding plants. They like to mound, and they will actually climb out of a pot. So you have to sort of reintroduce them to their pot and get them down there. But these are doing very well. And there's my almonds from my little chipmunk who's going to be here any minute. He comes in every year, or his sons and daughters do. And I was hoping to film him today, but he's not around. So there's my garden. A few marigolds, a couple of different things. I'm trying to, make it nice for my next door neighbor too. So that's it. That's Mummy's Tour-ette for today. And I will let you know I'm doing a Tour-ette in the next couple of days, depending on the weather, from Fire Island. And I will show you the Fire Island garden. And we'll see what that deck looks like after the winter out there. Until then, remember, Stay present, stay mindful, stay grateful. Everything you see and smell and taste and hear and touch and hold in your hand and your heart, this is all borrowed. Everything is borrowed, darling. Talk to you later.